using those personal connections to sort of as an entry point rather than what I think a lot of people do where they want to immediately get value out of their network. And it's like, that's not how it works. You need to cultivate relationships. You need to grow with people. Hey, so what I wanted to talk about today was how to get in touch with anyone. Because the music industry is frequently a place dominated by gatekeepers, and I think that that makes it scary and hard and alienates a lot of people. But there are a lot of ways to circumvent that and overcome that and grow, right? So I wanted to address that real fast. And then in a separate video, we're going to address how to cultivate relationships. But really basically, what you want to do is either find a friend of a friend or figure out a way to cultivate a personal connection, or start to engage with that person on social media. So I'm going to break these down. Finding a friend of a friend can frequently be easier than you expect in underground music because it's such a small community, especially if you're within a niche the way you kind of should be, So like if you're in the pop punk scene, you should know other people in the pop punk scene playing in bands, etc., etc. So some of them are going to know some people, and then you can meet those people, and then you go from there. So finding mutual friends who can ideally facilitate an introduction, great way to grow. That's especially a great way to pitch to a label. Look at the other bands on the label, see who you know, see if you can introduce yourself to anyone, and go from there. And this turns into cultivating the personal connection and finding other ways to connect to people, namely through commenting on their stuff on social media. And this is a great way to kind of wend your way in, right? Because essentially what you're doing is, let's say you want to get in touch with someone who books at the Whiskey A Go Go, and you find them online. You just comment on a couple of their photos. Just show you're someone there who cares, who gives a shit. And eventually they'll start to realize who you are, and then when you do that initial DM, they'll know who you are, and you'll be able to grow, and you'll be able to kind of reach that next step. And it's really that basic. And from there, make sure you're cultivating a personal connection. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit down, and I want you to go like, what is this person into? Are they into anything that I'm also into, Are they into photography? I'm into photography. We can talk about that. Are they into Star Trek? I'm into Star Trek. We can talk about that. But using those personal connections to sort of as an entry point rather than what I think a lot of people do where they want to immediately get value out of their network. And it's like, that's not how it works. You need to cultivate relationships. You need to grow with people. Because I work with people I've known for 5, 6, 7, 8, even 10 years. You know what I mean? My friend Dan, who does my websites, I've known for 20 years. You can't just come in and start doing websites for me, for instance. You know what I mean? And it's that way for a lot of other people in the music business, right? So figure out how you can connect with people on a personal level, and then you're going to grow a lot quicker and start to make the connections that actually matter. So again, what you're doing is you're finding a friend of a friend or some sort of point of entry through a shared interest, and then commenting on their stuff on social and going from there. And it's really that basic, and I think a lot of people overthink it or get intimidated, but at the end of the day, if I post a fun Star Trek story rather, and you reply to that story, you and I are going to start to get along. And it's that case for a lot of people operating in the music industry.